I'm Melody Rissell. Thank you for watching In-Camera Review. The purpose of this series is to provide insider information and tips and tricks for new practitioners, bar exam takers, law students, law clerks, and legal professionals. We do this by interviewing judges and distinguished practitioners. If you like this series, click the like below and leave a comment.
You're doing a lot of racial justice work. You're on committees. You've been the president of Alameda County Bar Association. You're on everything, and you're from what I see, you're really pushing a lot of things. But recently there's been attacks on elderly Asian people, or Asian people in general. And at one point, probably while you're in law school, there used to be this thing in the media where there was this rift, I guess you would say, kind of after the Rodney King riots, where the Black and Asian communities did not, or at least it was promoted like that. I don't know that it was true, but what are your thoughts on all that, and solutions or how you deal with it? I think it's unfortunate that was. I felt like that was the rift between Blacks and Asians was sort of a media thing. It might have been real in some places, but I feel like it was a divide and conquer kind of strategy. Go ahead. I'll let you take it away.
So yes, I always find it kind of ironic that the Asian and Black communities, where you typically find them together, and there's such a divide, instead of being closer because they're physically together, there's a divide. But I will say that I've been very happy recently to see that there has been more media coverage or awareness of this issue, and I've seen a lot more efforts to unite the two communities, to have them support each other and work together, because while our various experiences are not exactly the same, there are commonalities, and if we can work together as a common towards a common goal, then strengthen numbers, and I think that just like in anything, when you have diversity of personalities, diversity of skills, diversity of resources, you're going to be better off. And so, to be very honest, I have been thinking about that a lot, and thinking about how we can bring that to the Racial Justice Committee we're working on. So I'm very glad you brought that up.
I think you and me, I think we got it right now. I think I will send you my number, and let's text, and let's organize something, because we got to put together a couple of dates, because I've been thinking about it too. Like, right. I consider Vincent a good friend of mine. He taught me how to play golf, by the way, and he also got me involved with the Asian Bar Association, that type of thing. So no, I think it's important, and I don't think anybody's been addressing that. Like, I don't think that it was addressed during the George Floyd uprisings, because Asian folks are out there just as much. Asian folks voted, helped that along, but about the recent attacks, what are your thoughts, and what do we do, or what are you thinking? And Melody has some questions.
So, it's a little frustrating to me that it's not getting as much media coverage as I think it should. And, it's a whole different type of different conversation about why is that so, the silent, model minority Asian things and all of that. But for whatever reason, or for various different reasons, we are not getting that coverage. getting that awareness. And without that support, I think that it's going to be much more difficult to stem those types of attacks. And so I'm very frustrated. Part of it is also that the Asian community, I feel like they're not as willing to go out and protest and make a big scene and get that news coverage that we need. And so how do we help ourselves then? And I don't have the answer, but maybe, this, what we're talking about, partnering with other communities would help bring that attention. Maybe getting a protest out with all different, not just Asians, but everyone, get that crowd out there. If Asian people, even though if they can support it in different ways, but they're not people to go out and protest, maybe our supporters can help us by bringing the numbers to the crowds, while other things are being done from people who are not as comfortable going out into the streets. And it's different, it's COVID, but that's what I meant by like the diversity in resources, diversity in personalities and thoughts and all of that. So if you're the type of person who can go out and stand in front of the crowd and give a very compelling speech, great. And if you're the kind of person who's behind the scenes orchestrating media, whatever campaigns, print campaigns, great. So let's get everyone together, and there's going to be economies of scale. We can do this for not just the violence on Asians, but we can do this for violence against Blacks. We can do this for the transgender community. If we can get the communities together to work together, I think maybe that's a way we can address what's happening. And if we have a system in place, as things happen, it's easy to then focus on what's happening at that particular time. So if we had a community, a system in place for all of this, we could have easily gone from the George Floyd issue while it's happening, and then now, pivot and use the exact same setup. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, turn it to this issue, and so those are the kind of the things that I've think about while I'm laying in bed, can't sleep.